So October is absolutely packed with new game releases, and today I'm going to go over with you all my top 10 most anticipated games of the month. But I'm also going to shout out at the end of the video a list of honorable mentions because once again there are so many games releasing this month. I would like to at least highlight a few of those. I think it's going to be one of those unfortunate situations where a lot of good stuff gets buried because there's just so much releasing, which once again is such a bummer because we had so many months throughout 2024 that were very slow for new releases, and then you throw everything into damn October. It's like, I get it, before the holiday shopping sprees begin, get everything out there, but damn, man. So how about we kick this off with Fear the Spotlight? In at number 10, the first game from the Blumhouse publishing outfit, their new game publishing outfit. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first game from the developer as well, Cozy Game Pals. And Fear the Spotlight's coming out October 22nd to consoles, all consoles including Switch, also coming out on PC. And this is an old school, 90s horror inspired title. It's kind of, I'm definitely a sucker for games of this ilk. I'll try pretty much any of them out. The one thing that I think it's pretty much all stealth based. I don't think there's going to be much combat at all, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's pretty much, fearing the spotlight, trying to stay in the shadows, avoid being detected. I think that's kind of the main driving force of the gameplay. But I am curious about the story with Fear the Spotlight. I feel like with Blumhouse being involved, I think I would assume pretty much all of the projects that Blumhouse is going to be involved with are going to have some sort of narrative-leaning aspect to it. So yeah, I'm curious about this, and just for it being the first Blumhouse published title, I'm definitely going to check this out. October 22nd for Fear the Spotlight. In at number 9 is Last Time I Saw You, and this is releasing on October 10th on all platforms. Absolutely beautiful looking 2D indie adventure game. It's all hand-drawn art, and as soon as you see the game running on screen, that will be immediately apparent. It is absolutely gorgeous. The Steam description for Last Time I Saw You reads, First loves, family issues, yokai. Last Time I Saw You is a coming-of-age adventure set in 1980s Japan. Explore a haunted forest, hiding a terrible secret, and interact with a vast cast of friendly and deceitful characters in this beautifully hand-drawn story with some light action elements. And yeah, that's releasing on all platforms October 10th. I'm definitely getting some space for the Unbound vibes with this game, like something that you're going to dive into and maybe not have the highest expectations for the story and end up being really shocked by just how in-depth it is and how interesting the plot line is. At number 8, I'm going to go with Streets of Rogue 2. This is coming out on October 22nd to PC only. It will be coming console at some point, which is where I'll play it, but this shit just looks so fun to me. I never played the first game, but I love this crazy top-down GTA meets NES vibe. I think there's even like dialogue decisions and stuff in there. I know it's all procedurally generated, which it isn't really my favorite buzzword like that and roguelike and Souls-like. It's not typically a selling point to me, but I know there's like character builders in here, and you can go in and make a ninja style dude or a cop style dude, and just you can mix and match and create your own hybrid style character. Just looks batshit crazy, super fun, and just up to no good, causing a bunch of chaos. It looks very fun. I'll be checking this out when it comes to console at some point, but that is releasing on October 22nd on PC. And number 7 for me is going to have to go to Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, releasing on October 11th, current gen consoles and PC. This, obviously a return of a PlayStation 2 classic. What I've seen of this game, once again, talking about decision making, somehow in this Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero game, you have decision making in the story mode where you're playing through classic Dragon Ball Z plot lines, but you can make the occasional decision that will send you down a slightly different path than how it played out in the source material. Like how it played out in the show, you can kind of create a different different story, a slightly different story to see play out in game form based on some of the decisions you make, which is just so damn cool to me. And there's also like a customization suite where you can go in and kind of create your own stories, and like you can set up the battle and then interject a cutscene midway through the fight, and then you can upload your creation online so that others can download your stories and play through them. Like, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, this used to be super popular with I think it was like WWE 13 and 14, the wrestling games, where people would create these elaborate stories in universe mode and you could download them and play through other people's cool ass creations. And it seems like they're kind of leaning into that with Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. In at number 6 for me, I am going to have to go with Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire. This is dropping on October 10th on PC and consoles. And for any Skies of Arcadia fans out there, I would definitely keep my eye on this. It's obviously very, very inspired by Skies of Arcadia. And I actually think that I'm going to pick this up just because it's so different. You know, once again, obviously inspired by something that came before, but how many Skies of Arcadia inspired games do you even see? You know what I mean? You get so many Final Fantasy inspired games and just so many fantasy games where a character is holding a sword going off into battle, rather it be turn-based or you know, real time or whatever the case may be. But getting in a cockpit, going out with your ship, taking on some enemies, exploring some pretty fucking gorgeous 3D environments. I don't know. Sky Ocean Wings for Hire. I'm very, very curious about this game. So yeah, that's going to be number 6 on my list. For number 5, I'm going to go with Unknown 9 Awakening. This is releasing October 18th everywhere but the Switch, including last gen. And you can definitely see that when you look at the game. It looks a little bit dated visually. Character models don't look the best. World environments don't look the best. But here's the thing that makes me interested about this. For one, you're getting to play as the lady who who is Yennefer in the Witcher Netflix series. But as janky and rough around the edges as the game looks, it seems like it's that jank that I personally like, where it's very mechanics driven and maybe the animation quality isn't top tier, but it feels like they're attempting something really weird. Like you can take over the bodies of different enemies that you're fighting, and you can like use their skills against other enemies. So if a dude, say a dude's like shooting at you, you can possess him and shoot at one of his own people. And you can also like lasso, you have this like magical whip, you can lasso dudes towards you, and you can go invisible for a moment for these stealth encounters. And I guess you have some sort of telepathic abilities, and you can like lure enemies towards an explosive and then detonate it with those telepathic abilities. And yeah, it looks janky, rough around the edges, but it gives me some of that Banisher's Ghost of New Eden AA kind of playing in the AAA spaces, being published by Bandai. So, I mean, there's some money behind this thing. And yeah, I'm going to check this out. Unknown 9 Awakening, October 18th. In at number 4, we got Undisputed, dropping on October 11th, current gen consoles and PC only. This is, listen, I'm not really expecting the world from this thing, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have just been craving a AAA boxing game for so long, and I don't even know if this is necessarily going to fit that bill for what I'm looking for the fight night craving that I have, that hole in my heart that has been vacant for, I mean, well over a decade at this point, hasn't it? Since the last Fight Night game came out. But Undisputed, it's being published by Deep Silver. So there is, once again, there's some money back in this thing. And I'm expecting or hoping for this to at least just be a decent foundation, that hopefully with enough support can be built up into something that is more impressive and more impressive as each year goes on. I don't know if this will be an annualized thing, probably not. But as I hope that this can become a franchise. And over the years, it can just get better and better, and they can refine and build off of the hopefully what is a solid foundation here with the first game. But it is a feature complete game, as is. Like, you have a career mode. It has a loaded ass roster with big name fighters. You got Tyson Fury in there. You got Canelo Alvarez in there. You got Clarissa Shields in there. Lomachenko. You have legends like Ali and Riddick Bowe. I mean, it's stacked. The roster is stacked. And I have been following the development of this game for a long ass time, and I've been following people's hands-on reactions to the game, and it seems mixed. It definitely seems mixed. I could see this being one of those, it comes out and it's like a 5 out of 10 style game, and I think at the peak I could see this being like a 7.5 out of 10 style game. But if it can reach that 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 range, I will be happy just knowing that we got a solid foundation for a boxing game, and hopefully it can become something bigger and bigger as time goes on. Coming in at number 3, we got Metaphor ReFantazio dropping on October 11th everywhere but the Switch. And so I'm not a Persona guy at all. I don't really like the high school setting. I don't really enjoy school settings in games typically at all. And so this is much more appealing to me, you know, the core Persona 4 and 5 team working on this new IP that, you know, I know Persona is pretty dark and tackles some heavy themes, but this just kind of fits more of what I'm looking for in a game. And it's also, you know, a new IP. I want to support new IP. I want to support developers taking creative risks and trying something new, even though they have a bankable established formula with a bankable established IP. I'm happy every time I see a developer not rely on that bankable franchise and do something slightly unique. So I think I will be checking this out. I know they're mixing in a little bit of action combat into the formula. It's still mostly all turn-based, but that little bit of action has me more intrigued for sure. Yeah, I mean, the art style is just absolutely phenomenal. I remember seeing, or I could be losing my mind, but I feel like I remember seeing something where you had vehicles or like a little hoverboard that you can go and roam around and explore on this hoverboard, and it looks really, really fun. The art direction is just through the roof, top tier. So number 3, Metaphor ReFantazio. And coming in at number 2, of course, we got to shout out Silent Hill 2, dropping October 8th on PlayStation 5 and PC. I'm really, really excited for this, man. I'm not the biggest diehard Silent Hill 2 fan. I enjoyed a good deal. I prefer 3 a little bit more than Silent Hill 2. I think 3 is just more mechanically sound, but 2 definitely has the better story. And I would say Silent Hill 2 probably has the best story for any survival horror, unless you consider like The Last of Us survival horror. But regardless, Silent Hill 2 is up there amongst the greatest stories ever told in the genre. And as long as Bloober doesn't tinker with the story, we are good to go. I from all the previews that I've seen, people seem red hot on Silent Hill 2, so that gets me excited. It seems like the combat, the core mechanics, just the moment-to-moment movement, everything seems to be modernized to an acceptable degree. And for me, the big thing is I did see that they added like 10 hours of content to the game, which I did not like hearing that at all. I don't think you really want to make Silent Hill 2 longer than it needs to be. I think there's something about that, 8-9 hour runtime that really makes it feel, everything feels substantial. It doesn't really feel like there's any wasted time. So I'm hoping that the additional content added in is just like extra shit you can do on the side, and it's not really impacting the main story and making that unnecessarily long. But number 1 for me, of course, no surprise whatsoever, Dragon Age The Veilguard, October 31st, current gen and PC only. And dude, the combat's the thing here for me. I'm not a crazy Dragon Age guy. I've played through 1 and 2, played like 30 hours of Inquisition, and I didn't really end up vibing with Inquisition. I just felt it was kind of open and boring. Like the open world environments never really did much for me. So I'm glad that they're going back to a more, not necessarily linear, but a more scaled back approach to their world design. And it's still giving you some open hub areas to go and explore and shit, but that action combat, That's the thing for me. You're seeing that Spartan kick. You got Captain America shield throwing. You got this skill tree that looks deep with meaningful upgrades. Like you have a perfect dodge and your weapon will catch on fire. So you're doing these flaming attacks for a moment after you pull off your perfect dodge. And I love that while, yeah, they're definitely taking inspiration from a God of War or Devil May Cry, they're still keeping the spirit of a role-playing game intact, because they are, with the skill tree and the amount of depth and variety with the skill tree and with your runes and with, you know, your different abilities and all of this that you can combine together, you can kind of create, or seemingly you can kind of create a combat style. Even if you and I are both playing as a mage, we could probably have drastically different combat styles to one another, which that is the essence of a role-playing game to me, where my choices matter, but also my build matters, where I get to go in and spec out this character the way I want them to play, and then that is reflected when I am playing as that character. And just in terms of the hacking and slashing, man, it just looks so damn fun. And I've talked about this in the past, but adding that bit of reward for being intelligent on defense and then getting the offensive reward on the back end, like that I love those systems in games to where it makes defense matter. And yeah, man, Dragon Age of Veilguard, definitely my most anticipated game of October. And now I'm going to go ahead and throw in that list of some of the other heavy hitters coming out in October. Once again, far too many games releasing this month. I already kind of feel for some of these titles because they are going to get drowned out. But hey, you know, I guess it is what it is. If you really want to get your game out right before holiday season, I guess October is the best time to do so. But yeah, crazy month, man. But hit me in the comments down below with your most anticipated games of October. What are you planning on picking up in the month of October? Let me know down in the comments below.